He's a former National Security Adviser of Pakistan and President of Beacon House National University. Welcome to you, sir. Appreciate your time. I'd like to start, though, with the most recent reports coming in today that Pakistan reportedly has test-fired another missile after testing a surface-to-surface missile on Saturday. In your opinion, why is Pakistan doing that?
Well, unfortunately, I think we've got to remind the enemy, given the war frenzy that they've created in India. I think you've got to go back and see 2 weeks ago, a militant attack takes place. After that, in 7 minutes, Indian media is flushing Pakistan to be blamed. There's not an iota of evidence in 2 weeks. They've reached out to the world, hoping, I think, that the Western world would support India taking military action, like they did in 2019. And the world hasn't, because there isn't evidence. The world recognizes these are two nuclear powers, and any action of this sort is going to be extremely dangerous. Unfortunately, the Indian polity, if you turn on the Indian media channels today, you will find that there is real warmongering going on. It's been going on non-stop. And it's not Pakistan that sort of come in and said, we're going to test this, or you mentioned in your introduction about trade. India has actually gone ahead and taken a number of punitive steps, including the water treaty that you've just mentioned. This is not just a water treaty. This is the water treaty that provides Pakistan all of its water. And India is found gloating over the fact that they have unilaterally, illegally said that they're going to hold this in abeyance and risk 250 million Pakistanis starving without water. So, this is the kind of environment and kind of neighbor we have to deal with. Unfortunately, the Indian government has gotten into this mindset of a supremacist ideology where, the Hindus are seen as higher than the Muslims in some way and Pakistan seen as inferior. Unfortunately, they don't realize that when you talk of a nuclear environment, you cannot be warmongering like this. We have the whole Cold War's history behind us, knowing how dangerous and immature these things are. So I think the test is only to signal that there is a Pakistan. It has the capability, and the only way forward should be to talk and figure out what our problems are, rather than baselessly blaming Pakistan for something where there is no evidence, threatening war, and in fact, threatening annihilation of another nuclear power. So that's how bad I think the situation is in terms of where the Indian mindset is.
I get your point, Moeed, that Pakistan's using this as an act of deterrence to show that it can defend itself. Is there a danger, though, that India will interpret it in a different way as an aggressive move and then respond in a similar fashion or even escalate?
Look, I mean, they've been saying from day one that they want to take military action against Pakistan. These kind of missile tests are fairly usual. They've happened in every crisis in India-Pakistan history. They happen without crises as well. But the fact of the matter is that a country is almost obsessed with taking military action and wanting global capitals to come in and say, that's okay, you can go ahead, and somehow Pakistan won't respond. This is exactly what they thought in 2019. Pakistan, like any self-respecting nation, responding to a thief entering their territory, responded, took down Indian planes, had a pilot in custody, and then let the pilot go voluntarily, because we do not want to escalate. We want to keep telling the world that the only way forward for South Asia is through a conversation where we resolve genuine issues. This terrorist attack happened in an occupied territory, a territory that the United Nations Security Council resolutions say must be determined, the future must be determined through a plebiscite, which Pakistan has been asking for since 1948. Now, if you tell me if these two countries are not going to be able to sit down and talk, if India is going to shun every option of dialogue, if it's only going to keep blaming Pakistan, how do we move forward? There are 2 billion lives at stake in South Asia. And I think it's just simply mind-boggling that such a large country that wants to talk about being a regional power has gotten into a space where its officials have been threatening military action against a nuclear power much before this crisis and wresting Pakistani territory forcibly, talking about Muslims as if they are inferior beings, and what have you. And I don't know whether you're aware or not, but just today, you will see Indian media channels talking about a Turkish warship that called on a Pakistani port. These things are planned months and years in advance. But if you look at Indian social media, today they're saying we should boycott the Turkish tourist industry just because a Turkish ship has called on the Pakistani port. That's the kind of craziness and irrationality we are picking up from the other side. So, a missile test for deterrence is a right for a defending nation. It's really the nation that is trying to be aggressive that needs to be brought under control.
Moeed, it's a crucial matter, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come and speak to us about this. Thank you so much. Moeed Yusuf is my guest, former National Security Advisor of Pakistan.